Before we get into the video, do not forget to like, comment and subscribe. For years now, churches have been rocked by scandals of abuse concerning children. I mean, their reputation as a religious organisation is absolutely shot. Now what baffles me is when they commit atrocious acts, the church's DLCs try to rationalise and almost justify their cruel actions by using God's name. I say that to say this. A female vicar has denied sexual assaulting two young girls when she babysat them as a young teenager herself, over 40 years ago. Now, just to make it plain and simple, this is a historical crime, and by no means should the length of time be used to excuse the female vicar's behaviour. So Reverend Veronica Green, who is 58 years old, is accused of 6 offences against the 2 victims, whom were aged between 5 and 11 at the time of the alleged crime. And again, the crimes relate back to when the Reverend was 13 years old. At the time of the attack, a 13-year-old Veronica Green was living in North Staffordshire, and as a young teenager, she babysat 2 girls on multiple occasions. Now during that time, the now adult victims have alleged that Veronica Green exposed herself to the 5-year-old child in particular, rubbed a felt-tip pen against her private parts, and asked the child to pinch a certain area on her chest hard as she could. Now, the crazy thing about the crimes is, Reverend Veronica Green has admitted to most of her charges, but she says there was no sexual intent or sexual gratification involved. Now, when questioned by police, she says she ultimately flashed herself after coming out of the bath, and she had no explanation for the crude act. As a 58-year-old woman who devotes herself to God, she cannot put herself back in the mind frame of a 13-year-old kid. Clever ploy. Again, the vicar also admitted to the pen incident, but she said she couldn't say why or how it felt to do that. She knew about female and male organs, but not sexual feelings. And as for asking the 5-year-old kid to touch a certain part of her chest, she alluded that this was more to do with experimenting and exploring puberty, rather than gaining pleasure from the act. Vicar Veronica Green, who is the Reverend for Mulberry, Tushingham and Whitewell in Cheshire, has claimed that the accusation has ruined her life because she has been suspended when the crime came to light. To her specific plight or claims, all I can say is, when you do something regrettable and aghast, it always comes out in the light. She also says that the reason it came out was because of the current state of our culture, namely the naming and shaming culture, which is ironic, because what happened to being culpable for your actions or showing remorse or empathy to the victims? You could have morally or physically corrupted. I mean, after all, at young ages, they probably never knew anything was inappropriate until they grew older themselves. If they brought the crime to the police, then it had an impact on their lives, hence why they are looking for justice right now. As a society, we look at men assaulting kids with pure disgust, but the same weight and validation and regard is not held for women. Now, during the trial, Vicar Veronica Green's solicitor made a point to express that the vicar had gone on to become a totally different person, living a blameless life as an adult. He also said she is a positive character and has done good for others. And to that statement, I really could not give a damn. That's like me robbing a grandmother 5 years ago and now becoming a volunteer at a charity shop to help the elderly. My crimes still hold a significant impact to the victims. Again, the vicar has denied claims of sexual nature and the trial continues. Stay safe.